What was really awesome about that protest, that you could see people from all over Switzerland going there, not only the ones who were supporting the sanctions, if I can say so, but also the ones who are really protesting against the war, against the Putin's regime. Of course, the Ukrainians who wanted to be visible and to support Ukraine. And also, like we have seen there, the pacifists, so people who really just want to have make love, not war signs. Right. So we've seen all kinds of people, but what is more important here is that I think the message is very clear. The message that there shouldn't be war in Ukraine and that we are united on this cause.
Were there people from different parts of the world at this protest?
Yes, there were. Like you could really see, like we were seeing flags from Azerbaijan, we were seeing flags from Poland as well, from like Switzerland, obviously as well. But I said like it was from also the international community who was there in Switzerland at the moment, because Swiss is quite multinational. So like you could really see people of all shades and colors and heights being there. Like, and they said like, even though I think like the official purpose of the meeting was to impose stricter sanctions on Russia by Switzerland in order to stop the war. Mm-hmm. But the main key message was that there shouldn't be war in Ukraine. It should be peaceful, and we need to stop the Putin's regime.
What exactly is your family in Ukraine saying, considering all the events that have been happening recently?
This is a very complex situation, and this is affecting my family directly as they are in Ukraine. If we take my mother and my grandmother, they're specifically in Kyiv, and they have been already sleeping for several nights not in their beds. They have been sleeping in bomb shelters, in a basement, and also in an underground parking.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that in terms of their safety, their comfort, what they're doing to eat, how they're getting by day to day.
Well, this is a situation when you really definitely get to reprioritize. Like my mother, she's typically a picky eater, but at the moment, like that's all out of the window. Like what really matters at the moment is safety. In the basement, they are lucky to have a toilet, and they have also energy there. Mm-hmm. So that's fine. And they also were able, because this is now ongoing for several days, so they are doing things to make it more comfortable. Like they have some blankets there, some pillows, and so on.
This is a very traumatic period for a lot of people. Where's their headspace at this stage and point? I know you're in Switzerland, but you're in constant communication with them. So what are they saying with that?
It's a very difficult situation. Of course, they want peace, but at the same time, they want their independence. So it's not an option to have peace in the price of having the Putin regime in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. So now, you know, speaking of support and international support, to be specific, we've seen the whole world, Africa, America, even people in Russia are standing up in solidarity with Ukrainians who are currently going through what they're going through. How does your family feel seeing that even people in Russia are taking to the streets saying, no, this is not right? How does your family feel receiving such support?
This is amazing. Like, this is truly amazing to have this support, and especially from people in Russia, because their media is trying to tell them a very different version of the story. Their media is saying that this is a peaceful intervention to Ukraine. And once again, like, my family has a very strong approach that this war is not between Ukraine and Russia. This war is between the Putin's regime and Ukraine.
What would you say to someone who firmly believes that what is happening in Russia is within right boundaries or done accordingly? What would you say to someone who's of that belief?
I would tell them to look for some footage of people who are actually in Kyiv. Like, for Russian people, that's going to be very easy to do because there are a lot of artists who live in Ukraine. Like, they know them, like Monatik, Onuka, Nastya Kamensky, Boombox. The Russians know these names. Just go to their social media, look what they're posting, like, look where they are located, look to how their families are doing, you're going to very quickly understand that the whole country could not have just gone delusional.
Mm-hmm. So to those that are looking to stand in solidarity with those going through this traumatic period, there's a lot of people across the world. Some don't even know where to begin, but they just want to do something. What would you say to them?
Even when you feel that there is nothing you can do a lot. You can really do a lot. Like, first, you can just share the information about what's going on in Ukraine. You can sign petitions. You can join the protests and meetings which are happening in your countries. You can donate to various organizations. Like, if you don't feel like donating for the Ukrainian army, there's the Red Cross. There's organizations who help refugees. There are organizations who are helping women in need, because like still like women rights and children rights. Like, there are a lot of communities that you could help now, like really depending on how you feel. Like, I know when I was on the protests in Switzerland, like a lot of people, they didn't really feel that they want to take a stand of Russia or Ukraine because they just want to have peace. But I said, like, there are other peaceful organizations, such as, for example, I said, like, helping the refugees or simply helping the children of Ukraine. Like, there are a lot of ways to help. And I said, like, even 1 cent counts. Like, there's no such a thing as a small donation or a small contribution. Just do what you feel you can do, and for what you have your like energy and resources.